Recent studies have shown that the average person has 24 hours in a day. I don't know about y'all, but that's news to me. And what each person does in that 24 hours is entirely up to them. That's 24 hours, bro. You can spend that time honing a skill, bonding with your loved ones, working hard at whatever is bringing in that guap. You could also spend that 24 hours chilling. You could use that time to watch a new show, pick up a new hobby, play Warzone with the boys. The sky is the limit. But regardless, there's a good chance whatever activity you decide to do, a nice chunk of y'all are gonna see it through, no matter how long it takes. And to those of you that have the dedication, the commitment, the focus to sticking with something, no matter how small, I salute y'all, honestly. I think there's something special about having a one-track mind that stays on task like that. Because I don't know if something happened somewhere down my evolutionary line, but I must have missed the update. If there's one thing that's been true about me for as long as I can remember, it's that I just have a hard time finishing things. My brain will pick up one thing just to drop it for something else or forget about it entirely. I don't pick up things intentionally to drop them either. There's just too much to try, too much to do. Look, I'm gonna keep it a meme beam machine with y'all. I know it's ironic most of my videos are about this topic, but I am trash at finishing games. I can't finish a game to save my life. My PlayStation library is stacked with games I bought with full intention to play to the end, just for me to completely forget about them in like a week or two. I still to this day haven't beaten Resident Evil 0 or Resident Evil Remake. I bought the whole Yakuza series and haven't finished 0. Despite putting 100 hours into Cyberpunk and doing most of the side activities, I still haven't beaten the main story. I haven't finished Final Fantasy VII, original or remake. Bro, it's been like 5 years playing this game on and off, and I still haven't beaten Kingdom Hearts 1. I kinda got to the last save point and haven't picked up the game since. But that's besides the point. I'ma get there eventually. I think I have commitment issues. But there's a few reasons I just don't finish a majority of the games I play. Are the reasons good? That's debatable. Sometimes the game that I'm really into will slow the story pace to a crawl, and the missions get straight up boring. So boring it puts me to sleep. And when a game puts me to sleep, it sends electric currents to my brain telling me from this point forward, this game is trash! Some games I don't complete just because the side activities I find more engaging than the main story. I can't beat Yakuza 0 because beating Yakuza 0 means I have to stop playing Pocket Racer and running my cabaret club. And why would I want to do that? I don't know how this dress-up minigame became so enthralling to me. I am a grown man, but when that dress-up theme hits, I ain't gonna lie. I be laying in my bed kicking my feet in the air. Be having me feeling cute. Whenever I set out to beat this game, I just get sucked into the endless rabbit hole of minigames. And I don't know how I feel about it. Because the minigames are fun AF, but also there's a whole series ahead of me that I still have yet to play because the minigames are so fun. Other games I get bored of because I'm not really paying attention to the story, and the gameplay is aight at best, or just not my cup of tea. But sometimes I'll be straight enchanted with a game. I'll love everything about it, from the world building to the story, the gameplay, Aerith, the music and the materia system, Aerith. But to this day, I still haven't finished Final Fantasy VII Remake. Not for any particular reason, I just haven't gotten around to doing it. Will I beat Remake? Most likely. Will I end up finishing the end of Kingdom Hearts 1? Yeah, probably. I've done my share of playing games to the point I get burnt out on them. And it makes me look at those games a little different. Me personally, if I feel myself getting tired of a game, I put it down. I can always come back later to finish it if I feel like it. To be fair though, that mindset is what leads to me not finishing most games. But there's some comfort in knowing if I ever wanted to finish a game, it's always there waiting for me. And when I do finish a game, that feeling is so special. For the simple fact that I don't finish most games, the ones I do have a real special place in my heart. For instance, don't laugh at me, y'all. I kinda cried at the end of Final Fantasy 15. And I wasn't boohoo balling. It was a single thug tear. Was the game particularly exceptional in any way? Outside of flashy looking combat and pretty good graphics for the time? Not really. But I remember being super attached to the characters and each party member's individual character arc. Ignis, Gladiolus, Prompto, and Noctis. If nothing else, the game did an amazing job at making our four main guys feel like real friends on a road trip adventure. So to see that journey come to an end in the way that it did, it tugged my heartstrings a little. And it wasn't just the first Final Fantasy I'd finished, it was the first Final Fantasy game I'd played at that point. I didn't really grow up with the franchise, and so even though I don't look back on the game particularly fondly, it was a good gateway for me personally into the wizarding world of Final Fantasy. Without it, I probably wouldn't have ended up beating Final Fantasy IX at the very start of this year, and that game's now one of my favorites. Period. The original release of Persona 5 is another game with roots planted in the pits of my soul. This game changed my life. This game single-handedly changed my perspective on how seamlessly art, design, music, story, and characters can mesh together to create a cohesive user experience. This game is oozing with style from every orifice, but none of the style the game has is superficial. Every aspect of this game and its design contributes to the overarching theme of rebellion. From the iconic acid jazz soundtrack to the graffiti halftone menu designs to the characters and their individual story arcs. Saying I fell in love with this game is an understatement. it's easily one of my favorite games of all time. The same can be said for Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 2 Remake, Devil May Cry 1 and 3, the Dishonored games, Streets of Rage 4, Bloodborne, all games I beat. And I don't know what psychology goes into this, but for some reason when I beat a game, I have no problem beating it again. Like there aren't more pressing issues to deal with. I'm playing Persona 5 for the 4th time, this 100-hour game, and my backlog is ready to throttle me. But video games aren't the only medium where I have this issue of just not being able to finish things. I used to avidly consume anime whenever I could, wherever I could, like binge a whole series in a matter of a day or two. But now, I'm lucky if I finish one 12-episode series every year or two. And it's not even like a lot of the series I watch I hate. In the last couple years, I started Jujutsu Kaisen, Spy Family, Kaguya-sama Love is War, and Blue Lock. And listen, bro, these shows are heat, but be for real. Let's keep it 100. You know I ain't finished none of these shows. And my pattern of abandoning shows makes me think twice before even starting an anime. It's definitely the reason I don't watch as much anime as I used to. Which is weird because I don't have the same problem when it comes to manga. At least the ones I enjoy. I binged the entirety of Chainsaw Man and Fujimoto's one-shots, Look Back and Goodbye Eddie. I don't know what pack Fujimoto was puffing on, but bro's brain is working multi-dimensionally. His work is straight fuego! But to this day, I can't bring myself to watch past episode 2 of the Chainsaw Man anime. Even with how beautiful the animation in this show is, I just can't do it. Which is crazy to me, because I already know I'm gonna like it on paper. Because I do like it on paper! A part of me wants to chalk it up to just not really wanting to sit for 23 minutes to watch one episode, which, maybe I'm just in a point in my life where anime doesn't hold my attention as much as it used to. Possibly. Maybe I got undiagnosed ADHD, which prevents me from sticking to most things for any reasonable amount of time. Wait, hold on. But to be honest, I think the core issue for me not finishing games and me not finishing anime are very similar. I think it comes down to my ability to control the pace of the experience. With a game, if I get bored or I've had my fill, I can put it down and always choose to come back if I want to play more. The experience ends whenever I choose for it to end. I could choose to play through it to the very end if I like it enough, or I could stop playing an hour in. It's my choice. Now I would do the same with anime too, but in that case, I'd almost always just start the whole show over instead, because by the time I come back to it, I have no idea what's going on anymore. And the idea of having to sit through all that content that I've already seen just makes me not want to watch it entirely. Outside of the realm of entertainment, I've also struggled heavy with finishing personal projects. If any of you guys found your way to my Instagram, you know that I'm an artist. But really, I consider myself more so a creator. I just really enjoy the creative process and taking all the things that inspire me and creating something that resonates with me, and hopefully something that can resonate with other people. This video and the other videos on my channel are examples of that. But my creations and ideas that make it to the surface are just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to all the ideas I have that never see the light of day. Ideas for art, music, videos, games, anything really. But to be fair, a good chunk of these ideas don't deserve to see the light of day. They're trash, but that's okay. You have to get the bad ideas out of the way before you can make something worthwhile. The problem is when that worthwhile comes around. I like to work on my creations alone, and oftentimes that works against me, since with my goals I can be pretty ambitious, and like we discovered earlier, the average person only has 24 hours in a day. So needless to say, eventually the well runs dry, and a lot of my projects are given up on. But I'm here to tell y'all today, that cycle is over. It's done with. I know my upload schedule has been slow since video game intros were special, but now my semester is over. I'm putting my nose to the grinder, and I plan on more frequent uploads that possibly y'all can find worthwhile. Also, I'm pretty sure most of you guys have no clue, but last year I started a webtoon called The Badlands Scrapper. I made 2 episodes last summer, and I had full intent to continue throughout the year. But unfortunately, being a full-time student did what being a full-time student do, and I had no time to complete episode 3. So alongside more frequent videos, I'll be continuing work on the Badlands Scrapper, and will hopefully have episode 3 out soon. It's a story I have really high hopes for, and is a project I want to see through to the end. I didn't intend for this to be a plug, but if you guys are interested in that at all, feel free to check it out and comment Garbage Boy, so I know you guys came from my video. And if you enjoyed this video, I'd greatly appreciate your support with a comment, like, or subscription. That's all I got for you today, guys. Take care, and I'll see you when I see you. Toodles!